Stand up to my mentor, Dr. David Israel. Shalom, shalom to everybody. We just buried my spiritual father, the great Archbishop Jerry McCullough. May he rest in peace, and to all the Faith Temple, PPOD, and Agape family, Emmanuel Church of Jesus Christ. But listen, conversation is today, Venezuela has not capitulated, nor have they surrendered. It's interesting to see the Trump trying to hold on to the rhetoric, and of course his entire regime, which it should be called the terrorist regime, currently called the Republican Party, trying to hold on to the rhetoric that they have somehow defeated a sovereign nation. And Venezuela is holding very true to its sovereignty and saying, we haven't surrendered anything. This is the interesting thing, that when you try to paint a propaganda picture, and it just the crayons just don't match the reality. Venezuela was not a one-person government, so arresting Maduro did not subdue the government. You don't put a constitutional country into disarray by simply arresting one person. The country doesn't run by one person, and clearly this country's revolutionary mindset, 25 years of revolutionary preparation and a mentality towards anti-imperialism that has been built as part of the fabric of what this nation is. It's on display. Even if Delcy Rodriguez stood up and said, we surrender, that would not cause Venezuela to even be surrendered. Within hours of the abduction and illegal kidnapping and terrorist invocation of the country by the United States, bombing multiple civilian areas as distractions, killing multiple individuals, and then absconding with the current sitting president, the government and the army were united. The government has been intact. They didn't even destabilize the government. That's the crazy thing. They've mobilized it. They've mobilized it for more action. Another thing I want to throw out there too, all of this fantastic talk about technology, and they had the grid. They had special technology to shut down the grid. It's not hard to shut down an electronic grid in any country. It's not hard. People can do it. Iran can do it. South Korea can do it. People can do it, and it doesn't take that much. You just got to know where to strike. People have seen in your own neighborhood, you've seen a car accident that some drunk driver or somebody not paying attention has hit one pole, and an entire area goes out. A drunk driver, he hits one electronic pole, he hits a traffic light stanchion, and the entire area has grid issues. The grid is fragile. It's not hard to knock out an electronic grid and to shut down communication, turn off Wi-Fi in the area. That's not a difficult thing. It's not a hard thing. Of course, a couple of bombs placed here and there, it's going to shut down the grid. That's any strategic individual or organization or country or terrorist group in this particular scenario would be able to say, hey, let's target, shoot down a couple of these electronic areas, and the grid's going to go down. That's normal. That's not higher level technology. That's just common sense. And so that's fixable too. It's very fixable. So at the end of the day, you have an incursion that did not shut down the government, that did not topple over Venezuela's resolve, and Venezuela is still under siege by America, stealing their oil carriers. Still has a blockade, right? We're not taking away from the fact that America's military is superior to theirs, and they are committing acts of war by blocking their ability to receive and to send anything. It's a complete naval blockade. A naval blockade is not just oil. As we know, that most things travel by ship, and so you are affecting a nation's economy drastically when you block the capacity for them to have things flown in or shipped in. Like that's common sense. That's an act of war. That's the same type of terrorism that's taking place in Israel. That's the same type of terrorism that America has spoken about and said that they are against. They are being terrorists, starving out people who have nothing to do with the concept of oil companies trying to recoup money. That's the concept of America. The concept of the reality is the concept of the US president trying to steal billions of dollars of oil for his own self-gratification, gratification. So this is a whole different kettle of fish than's being described from the White House. And to be honest with you, I don't know what the answer is for the Venezuelan people. You have a dictatorship happening from the White House where you have an embargo and you have a naval blockade, and it seems like no one's coming to the rescue. And what's going to happen eventually is these people are going to get starved out. So some other major power is going to have to show up with their navy and escort goods into Venezuela, and their air force and escort goods into Venezuela. That's the only thing that's going to be able to happen. And what's happened so far is all of the other world powers clearly have been told to stand down and leave this in the hands of America. So this is a very terrible scenario that's happening for the Venezuelan people at this moment. But they haven't surrendered. Let's not pretend like they've just rolled over and surrendered. And these people are used to these kinds of scenarios. This is the great thing about South America, though, and that portion of the world. It's kind of hard to starve. And when technology and these kind of things go down, the people that are most equipped to handle it are people who live rurally. People who drive on they're driving mules, right? They got their own weapons, their own guns. They don't have street lights at night anyway. They have candles, right? They have basics. They have generators that utilize energy when they need it, potentially solar powered. So these folks, it's not easy to knock them off by just saying, we're going to make sure that you can't turn the lights on. It doesn't really work that way. But the naval blockade of major things is going to cause massive inflation in the country. The inflation is going to be crazy unless it's subsidized by the government. And people might have to start growing and figuring out the agricultural aspect of keeping themselves alive in survival mode. That's the balance of these two things. So who am I talking to here? Mark Shepard, what's going on, my brother? So I just wanted to throw that out there. Venezuela has not surrendered. And things that are coming from the White House are either drastic lies or just simply premature. All right, it's premature. And Delcy is being a politician. She's saying things like, we need to speak, we need to talk, but we are still a sovereign nation. I will entertain conversations. And that's what she's supposed to say. She's a politician. But in the back end, the people are saying, we are going to take hostage any American. And this is the thing about Americans right now. Every American should be thinking about this, right? The United States just put out a warning to all their citizens to get out of Venezuela. Well, that memo went out late, but Americans should be thinking about this worldwide. That American passport is not a passport that you want to travel on right now. You don't want to be in South America with that passport. That passport puts a target on your back almost anywhere in the world right now. It makes you look like a spy even if you went to Greenland. That passport is not a great passport right now. And this is what Trump doesn't recognize, that he thinks he can go around the world being an international terrorist, right? Being Dr. Evil, and American citizens can still simply live their happy-go-lucky lives. And that's not going to be the case, because people are saying we don't want them. They're going to say we don't want Americans here. And in the cases of Latin America, imagine you're in a place like Colombia or Mexico now, after the president has just threatened those countries and those nations, and you're walking around there, looking very American, sounding very American. Are you a spy? Do you work for the DIA? Do you work for the CIA? Who do you work for? Why are you here? And potentially, even if they're clear that you are a family, let's hold these people hostage. This is the same thing. You're going to force the hand of people to act like what's going on also in Israel, where Hamas says, yeah, we're going to hold a couple of you guys hostage. You guys want to attack us, we're going to hold a couple of your people hostage. So there, you're creating an issue that is bigger than just this particular regime of government. When Trump is out of office, when he's out of office, okay, and the next president comes into place, there's still going to be international resentment for the Trump regime. The next president, if he's smart, gets in here and says, we're going to, I'm going to pardon Maduro. I'm going to send him back to his country. I'm going to give these people, I'm going to take the embargo off. I'm going to make sure that the Venezuelan people can sell their oil in the open market for fair market prices. And we're going to apologize and we're going to return what we stole from them. Like, I mean, that has to be an apology tour. And I'm telling you, the next president is going to have to go on an apology tour for this guy. Unless it's J.D. Vance. Please pray it's not J.D. Vance. Pray it's not Donald Trump kicking over and J.D. Vance takes his place. But the next president, potentially a Democratic president, because these things swing so polarized, that's what's next. He's going to have to go on an apology tour to Venezuela. Also, though, I do know, and of course, the Biden administration and Obama, all of these guys had the same despotic plans for Venezuela, but they did it secretly. Trump just openly declared war and says, I'm stealing everything. You know, there's no diplomacy about it at all. Let me see. Greetings, brother, from Northern California. Hey, what's going on? Uptown Films. Bless you guys. Bless you guys. And so I'm just saying to my people, man, you guys got to take it easy, man. You can't, don't be running around saying I'm booking a trip to go here and to go there. It's not business as usual. It's not. You know, I know a lot of these ladies, they go and they get their little bodies done in these Latin American countries. If you've got even Canadian passport right now, if you look American, sound American, you might be mistaken for American, black, white, no matter what. It's not a good time to travel for you. It's not a good time to travel. Not a good time to run around the world and say, hey, I'm just having a good time. Be very careful, be vigilant, and understand the political environment of the people around there. They're taking people hostage in Venezuela now. They're holding folks hostage in Venezuela. And no one's coming for you. No one's coming for you because Trump says, we got the country under control. You don't got nothing under control. This is Del K. Brereton. This is The Real Spiel. We'll talk soon.